and welcome to my first sit down story time-ish kind of video. So about a month ago, me and my friend were really bored one Saturday night and we're like, let's go into the city. We paid $50 for entry and I bought the Uber in there, so she was like, okay, like I'll pay for the Uber home. Now they have that shitty thing when it's like the 1.5, so instead of it being $40, it'll be 60, that was good math. And it's just like kind of doesn't make it worth it. And she was like, listen, I don't have this money. And I was like, no worries. She was like, let's just get the bus. Now, pause right there. From where I live, the bus takes literally like 5 hours. I swear, the last time I got the bus, I got on the bus at like 1:30 and I literally got home at like 4:30 because by the time it stops fucking all around the world and fucking picked up from the local shopping center, it's just not worth it. It literally isn't worth it. So I'm always like, I'll get the Uber, my shout, Tiff Dogs is here, don't even worry. The amount of Ubers I've gotten to the city and got back, like, too many to count. I am an Uber 5-star rating tiffaniidee right here. She was like, I can't pay for the Uber, and I was like, that's fine. And I was like, I'm not getting the bus, I'll just pay for the Uber. It's on my mom's credit card. Doesn't even matter. So the weird thing about Uber is that they know your name. They know this is the really thing. I'm a bit like, oh. And I'm very picky with my Ubers. I'm like, if they either have to look like a nice person or have a nice car. It's like one or the other. So if I get like Harry and he looks like a fucking this, I'm like, maybe not so much. Like, why would I waste my money? On a particular night, I'm like, oh, 1.5 surcharge, don't even worry. And I'm requesting, in the city, you can be so fussy with your Uber drivers because they're everywhere. You know when you go into the Uber page, it's like, ding, 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 like, the Uber, they're all at my beck and call. Bitches. His name's not John. I'm gonna call him John. And I was like, well, that'll do. I was a little bit very intoxicated. And I always get in the passenger seat and I'm like, oh, hey! And they know my name, so they're like, oh, Tiffany, like, nice to meet you. Oh, John, nice to meet ya. And my friend was just in the back like, I'm a bit tired. On average, and he obviously, because I am out there and because I am very sometimes over the top, very quickly got the wrong idea. Very, very quickly. I remember we just got over the Harbour Bridge, which is like 5 minutes into the trip. He was like, oh, so how old are you guys? And I'm like, and I was like, oh, how old are you? Just go with 34. We'll just ride that wave. And then he was like, so, are you guys single? He was like asking all these weird questions, and my friend was like texting me like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Anyway, so then we got like back into the area and we were dropping my friend home first. No worries, laters. I'm like, fuck. I didn't do like shit, what have I got myself into? And he's like, so is this gonna happen? He was like, just make sure you don't decline my phone calls, like don't be a bitch about it, just answer. And if I ask to hang out with you, just tell me what you like, just tell me if it's a yes or a no, like don't keep me hanging. I was like, oh, so it is, like thank you. I remember I got to my front door, I was like, Dad. Like a week goes on, he texts me, I have John, that's not his name, but I have John in my phone. I'm like, oh my god. Oh, do you want to meet up this weekend? Never ever. Anyway, at another friend's house, it was a gift, like, do you want to help me out? Got in the car, oh, I just set up with Uber and I'll request you. Oh, he goes, no, that's fine, it's so good to see you. My friends are in the back like, fuck is this weirdo? Fuck are we in the car with? I'm like, oh bro, how's your week been? Free lift. Like he saw vulnerable 18-year-old and I saw free lifts. Which very much. And then that same night he picked me up and I remember he like, and he picked us all up from this really sus alleyway and I'm pretty sure he shouted us all Maccas from my memory. Pretty sure he shouted us all soft serve. We went to Macca's, that's all I know. Got back home and my two friends like ran out of the car like I did the first time. He's a really nice guy, like he was just genuine nice guy. He was just very old. Okay, you are so much older than 38. Like, you are so old right now. This is so, you probably could be my dad. And he like leant in for a kiss and I was like, oh my god, I was like, bye, thanks. Anyways, and he continued to text me and I continued to decline and just like not reply. Like, I remember he'd be like, oh, when do you want to hang out? And I wouldn't reply, like, I don't. And he would be like, you could at least reply, like I could have made other plans. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I literally... Anyways, and by this time it had been on my Snapchat a little bit. And I told a few people and my sister knew. And I went to my sister's house like a week ago now and she was like, Tiffany, this is weird. Like, you have to delete his number. So that is my experience with I've blocked his number. Oh my god, I've blocked his number and I've blocked his Facebook. Once by accident. I thought it was mom. Oh, hey, you finally replied. Like, you finally picked up. And I'm like, oh, would not recommend. Ladies, hope you enjoyed my story time. Story time, story time.